Good evening. Welcome to Learning Forward Saturday. That's what we like calling Saturdays. It's a day when we host the master class. It's indeed an honor and privilege. So this is what happens on YouTube. Okay. So we won't do that. So what happens is when you do YouTube live from here, you get an echo. Yeah, I've done that. Okay, we'll start again. Thank you, everyone. It's good to have you here. We are currently reading Productive Failure. So, when we are reading this book, Productive Failure, it's important for me to mention something which I have been putting down in our conversations in the week. In the week, I have been repeatedly mentioning that we need to do some soul searching. We need to actually experiment with productive failure. We, in our system, as students, teachers, country, nation, are so happy making notes that we often forget that we also have to think and not just make notes. So when you write your comment or when you send us a reflection, it's just ratifying what is there in the text. Well, now that the introduction of the book is over, that's not what we want from teachers. Now, consider this as an exam without a question paper and do it. What you are mentioning as your experience and what you are mentioning as the problem and its solution, it's not working. We have to look at the way a paper is presented, a doctoral thesis is made, a research is brought to life. If you are from Sunbeam, I've done a lot of effort this week in trying to explain how you should structure your post. The assignment can't come like this. If you can do an assignment in 2 months, I think that'll be a success. It's not that easy. It has to be backed by data. It has to be backed by experiment. It has to be backed by something which you do practically. So the example I want to give you is when you do a practical in the exam and you gave a answer to that, that's where you are marked by the examiner. On the other hand, when you do theory, you just write down what you read and that's where you are marked. But the way you want to present in a journal or in a scientific journal or in a professional journal, it's not like that. You have to experiment, you have to back it up with data, you have to make a presentation, and you have to have a finding. Do read the content we have really laboriously put in the WhatsApp conversation of the Sunbeam Masterclass. That's where we are expecting some good papers to come from. Look back 2024. Last year we focused on video on the masterclass and asked the teachers how much they worked on the video for the masterclass. Every video was original, every script was new. Please don't give us chat GPT reflections. Please don't do that. When I say chat GPT, it could be chat amongst you and put together, not necessarily the chat GPT you are thinking. We don't want conversations, we don't want observations, we don't want comments. We want substantial research. We want data, we want experiments, and that is what productive failure is all about. So you see last in the introduction how Manu Kapur tried that mathematical calculation and how his professor let him fail practically the whole year. You have the Herculean task, much like Mount Everest, five presentations you need to make, five papers you need to submit, five assignments you need to submit. That's what you call them. If you still need help, I have today made a request to Paul sir at Sunbeam. He will hold a conversation with you all in May early and he will take things further. Thank you. Part 1, the problem and its solution. The Fields Medal is widely considered to be the most prestigious prize in mathematics, often described as the Nobel Prize in Mathematics. Unlike the annual Nobel Prize, however, The Fields Medal is awarded only once every 4 years to up to four people. Since its inception in 1936, only 64 people have received the prize, making the winners of the Field Medal a rare group of brilliant minds. Now you know why I brought up your submissions, which we expect from you. Read this paragraph, think about it. I know we are raising the bar and I know you can do it. I have also shared my experience of first time I went through the exercise. And my mentor, Carl Closet, I've shared a paper which he helped me do. Please read it in your conversation with me in WhatsApp. It does not take a brilliant mathematician to deduce that the chances that you actually know a Fields Medal winner are therefore exceedingly low. Unless, of course, you work at the university such as ETH Zurich in Switzerland, which has been home to many such brilliant minds over the years. One of them being my fellow colleague and friend, Alessio Figali. He won the Fields Medal in 2018. Over lunch one day, Alessio and I were talking about failure and the role it plays in mathematics. I remember Alessio dropping a bombshell. As a mathematician, I've come to realize that about 95% of my attempts are destined for failure. So, what you're trying to write as an assignment, what you feel as an assignment, that's what's happening to us. 95%? Now, that is a high failure rate, making failure more of a core feature of mathematical practice than a bug. He went on to add, this might sound disheartening, but failure is actually a vital part of the process. You see, every attempt, every struggle, every moment of puzzlement is necessary step towards understanding. When I confront a problem, I try and often it doesn't work. So I will try something else. It's a cycle of trying, failing, and persisting. Failure was a necessary step towards understanding. I'm sure we will come to a better understanding. Without failure, it would not be possible to understand the problem as well. According to Eliseo, failure was instrumental in solving a key problem of understanding. Of course, I did not need much convincing, but I wanted to hear his reasoning for why failure was so critical. He continued, what many don't realize is that these failures are never in vain. Each one sheds light on the problem, helps me see a critical aspect of deep structure of the problem, and also clarifies what doesn't work. This process of elimination is crucial. There it was. Failure seemed to help see what was critical, which led to understanding the problem better and made it clear what did not work. As a learning scientist, I was thinking that a failure to see and understand that which is critical is a key problem when we are learning something new. And that deep learning proceeds by tackling the problems of seeing and understanding and by becoming aware of what does not work. I will read this, apply it to what we are trying to do with you when we are attempting to do what you call assignments, we call professional learning papers submission. As a learning scientist, I was thinking that a failure to see and understand that which is critical is a key problem when we are learning something new. And that deep learning proceeds by tackling the problems of seeing and understanding and becoming aware of what does not work. And here I had a Fields Medal winner affirming exactly that, telling me that failure was a secret recipe of achieving mathematical success. Little did I expect that what was true for deep learning was also true for Alessio's work as a mathematician. But there was more. For Alessio, these failures also served another purpose. They helped in incubating ideas. That sounded like how transfer of learning might happen, so I urged him to elaborate. You see, I have learned the importance of stepping back, he said. When I'm stuck, sometimes the best approach is to let go of the problem. This break allows me to lose any fixedness in my thinking. When I return to the problem with fresh eyes, it's like meeting an old friend with new stories to tell. This fresh perspective often illuminates paths that were invisible to me before. I love getting up in the morning early and thinking fresh. So often, when I've slept the previous evening, I have something in my mind and I sleep over it. And believe me, in the morning, a solution does come. I could not believe that I was hearing. Failure was a core feature, not a bug. It helped see what was critical and understand the problem better. And when multiple attempts of solving ended up in being stuck, it was good to step back. Let ideas incubate, lose fixedness, and return to fight another day. What was also striking to me was the contrast between how top mathematicians like Alessio Figali approach mathematics and how mathematics is taught and learned in schools. Also, Alessio mathematical problem solving does not proceed in a straight line, and he was quick to add, neither do mathematicians. Yet, we teach mathematics is often in a straight line. The direct instruction model, avoiding failure at all cost, and in the process, undermining learning because it does not solve the problem of learning. And it is not just mathematics. The tentacles of direct instruction extend to much of schooling and instruction in most other domains and subjects too, all proceedings along the same suboptimal logic of direct instruction. Therefore, I start your journey with this book by first articulating the key problems of learning. Why we remember, why we fail to remember, why we fail to understand, and why we fail to transfer. I repeat, why we fail to remember, why we fail to understand, and why we fail to transfer. And once armed with an understanding of the problems, only then do I describe how the solution, productive failure, solves these problems. So let's go deeper into the journey. The problems of learning. I remember studying for my exams in school and university and doing reasonably well on them. Yet soon after, I would forget most of the material. I had studied so hard to remember I am not alone. This phenomena plays out in schools around the world all the time. Why do we remember so poorly? One of the most well documented curves in learning is the retention curve. That is, how well we can remember newly learned things over time. Unfortunately, these curves reveal a dismal picture. Retention is poor and, consistent with my experience, drops quickly and drastically. To understand the nature of this problem, why we fail to retain, we need to deep dive into how we store and retrieve things we learn. Retention, however, is not the only problem of learning. Even if we can retain information, it does not mean we understand it all. Why do we understand so poorly? When learning something new, one of the main reasons we do not understand it well is because we fail to see what is critical. Recall the movie Thought Experiment from the introduction. The expert director would see things from a novice while watching the same movie. Given the same stimulus, what makes experts see critical features easily, yet novices find it so difficult? Clearly, we cannot understand something deeply if we cannot see that which is critical. However, seeing what is critical is necessary, but not sufficient. There is more to understanding than seeing, because understanding requires connecting and integrating new knowledge with prior knowledge. There is more to understanding than seeing because understanding requires connecting and integrating new knowledge with prior knowledge. Now, that is an interesting one. So, this is what understanding is all about, connecting and integrating new knowledge with prior knowledge. And finally, if we cannot understand a concept deeply, then we cannot transfer it to novel contexts. Learning is effective when it allows us to do things in a new context, with new tasks to adapt and apply our lessons to changing needs. This is called transfer. But why do we transfer so poorly? In this chapter 1, in this chapter, I focus on the three problems as shown in figure 1.1: why we fail to remember, why we fail to understand, and why we fail to transfer, taking each in turn and unpacking the science behind it. Although I discuss them in turn, they are interconnected, each feeding off one another. Only when we can understand the problems of learning can we start to think of the possible solutions for learning. Defining and understanding the problem is often the hardest part, which is why I have chosen to start with it. My hope is that by taking you through these deep dives into each problem, you yourself will be able to remember, understand, and transfer why we fail to remember, understand, and transfer. So you have problems of learning. There are three parts to it. It could be due to transfer, it could be due to remembering, it could be due to understanding. So, how failing to remember happens? There are some things that so deeply ingrained that we can never forget them. Think of your immediate family members, their names, their faces, what do they do, and so on. Think of the basic arithmetic you learn in school, or riding a bicycle, or how to swim. Think of key dates such as birthdays or anniversaries of people closest to you. Think of a password you use all the time. Think of the phone numbers you can still remember. If you're old enough, we have lived in the pre smartphone era, that is. Think of your go to movie that you watch all the time. The list goes on. These are all examples of memories that are stored well and effortlessly remembered at any point in time. We say they have not only high storage strength but also high retrieval strength. When a piece of information has both high storage strength and high retrieval strength, it means that the information is deeply ingrained in memory and can be easily recalled in the present moment. Then there are some things that you know you learned a while ago in school or outside, but you cannot remember them well. Think of those mathematical formulas and proofs that you had to learn repeatedly throughout schooling. Think of the foreign language course you did for a year or two. Think of the dance course you looked for a bit. Think of the books you read, and so on. These are all examples of memories that were stored well because you learned them over a sufficiently long period of time, but cannot easily be remembered right now. You will need to restudy or relearn them, and then perhaps you might be able to remember them better. At the time you learned them, however, they could be characterized as high storage and retrieval strengths. But as it stands now, these memories remain stored but not easily retrievable. When information has high storage strength but low retrieval strength, it means the information is deeply embedded in long term memory but is not easily retrievable at the present moment, often due to lack of regular or recent exposure. Now, if you think of what you had for breakfast today, or the news headlines that caught your attention, or that pesky password change you had to make, your hotel room number during your vacation, the plot of the movie you watched recently, a recent event you attended, and so on. These are examples of memories that may not be stored deeply, but in the short term. they can remember it easily. Give them time, however, they are likely to fade away and become hard to recall. Happens with your passwords every day. That is the reason my cramming strategy helped me pass my tests and exams at the time. But in the longer term, I would be hard pressed to remember the differential equations I learned in my engineering bachelor's. When information has low storage strength but high retrieval strength, it means that the information is not deeply ingrained in long term memory but is easily retrievable at the moment, often due to recent exposure or relevance. So, this is how you prepare for your exams. Finally, there are memories that are neither stored well nor recalled well. Think of the many introductions at a party or networking event. Easy in, easy out, as they say. Or random trivia facts that seem interesting in the moment but cannot be remembered. Soon after, casual chats, interesting jokes, or memes that we come across all get noticed in the moment only to be forgotten the next. That's how your social media feed goes. There is low storage and low recall. When information has both low storage strength and low retrieval strength, it typically relates to fleeting or superficial encounters with that information. Sorry. So, this is where we have reached today in this digital era where we are often finding this challenge. This dual index model of our memory, storage strength and retrieval strength, was proposed by Robert Jock and Elizabeth Jock in 1992. It'll be York if they say in their language. They called their model the new theory of disuse. What do storage strength and retrieval strength mean for learning? Four implications follow. The first three are intuitive. The fourth, perhaps, is a little counterintuitive. So let's see what happens now. When your storage is low, names of people in a party, your retrieval is low. When your storage is low but your retrieval is high, it's like today's news, hotel number, while on a vacation. When your storage is high, maths learned in school, foreign language, but retrieval is low. And when your storage is high and retrieval is high, parents' names, key birthdays, favorite password. Very interesting. Just look at this way they have graphically illustrated how you remember. So when you go to write your assignment, these are the kind of things you're going to produce. So if you look at this book itself is a guide on how to create an assignment paper. Please don't give us what this book is giving you. Give us what you can add to this. Let us say you decide to do an experiment on storage and retrieval in your class over a period of a month. What you taught on day one, what you taught on day 30, and then see how deep the retrieval or storage capacity is. Well, that will be the analysis we are looking for. That's the assignment we want. Storage and retrieval strengths. This could be a very interesting assignment. When we process new information, for example, when we learn a new math or science concept or language, we increase storage and retrieval strength. So that is the first thing. The deeper the processing of the new information, the higher the storage strength. For example, cramming does not work as well as persistent study and rehearsal over time, especially if we can connect the new information to what we already know. So that's where we were talking about knowledge and connections. The higher the storage strength, the lower the loss of retrieval strength. For example, you are unlikely to forget your parents' names no matter how long you do not see them. The mere act of retrieving increases storage strength. The increase being greater when retrieval strength is lower than higher. That is, the lower the retrieval strength, the greater the opportunity for making learning gains. That is increasing storage strength. The fourth implication is the one that is somewhat counterintuitive. After all, should retrieving something we already know well make it even stronger? One way to think about it is when retrieval strength is high, it means you can already easily access information that is stored. Yes, typically in your password. One more time increases storage strength. But this increase is not as great as when you are trying to retrieve something for which retrieval strength is low. Say, what is the capital of Greenland? Anyone wants to have a try at this? In the context of learning new things, this last point becomes crucial. For by definition, retrieval strength is low when we are learning something new. Many times, there is not much to retrieve in the first place because all of it is so new. Even if you did not know the capital of Greenland, just merely thinking about it or attempting it is useful because if you were to Google the correct answer now, you will remember it better. As we see in this book, even when retrieval sense results in failure, it is still beneficial for learning the new information. But there's even more counterintuitive implications. Having learned something new, it pays off to forget it a little. Why? When we learn something new, the first implication says both storage and retrieval strengths increase. If we process it deeply, the second implication says both storage and retrieval strengths will be high. At this point, we start to plateau. That is why, after studying something for a while, we get to a point where the marginal gains start to drop. You reach a plateau. To escape the plateau, we need to back off. Paradoxical, but true. We have to let the retrieval strength drop off a little. We can do this by focusing on learning and doing things for a period of time. Could be hours or days or weeks, depending upon what you are learning. By this time, if the retrieval strength has dropped off and you try to recall that information, chances are you will find a little challenging to do so, even fail to recall. But when you are then given the information again or have the opportunity to study the same things, the boost to your storage strength will be much greater than when you backed off. My close friend and colleague, Idorol, likens this to how paths form when we walk on grass. Walk on a trail 100 times in 1 week, and a month later, the weed returns. The path is forgotten. But walk on the same trail 100 times over 100 days, once a day, and the trail will be solid and deep. So, this is an interesting experiment. You could do an experiment like this and submit it to us. This is perhaps the disuse part of the new theory of disuse. After learning something new, we must allow for some disuse. That is, intentionally not using information or allowing for some forgetting of that information, so that when we come back to it and try to retrieve it, we derive a strong boost to both storage and retrieval. And that's the trick to remembering information. Learn, forget, retrieve, relearn, then repeat the cycle over time. So that's the way to improve your CPU storage. The forgetting part is important, for it sets up the stage for retrieval. If retrieval is successful, it makes your storage stronger. If retrieval is unsuccessful, it creates an opportunity to restudy and relearn, which will then enhance your storage and retrieve future retrieval. We tend to think of forgetting as bad. It turns out forgetting can be good. We must remember to forget so that we can use forgetting to remember. Productive forgetting. I think we should pause here and let's look at how we can experiment this week on productive forgetting. I want you to forget what you read today. That will be interesting, isn't it? But that's not the purpose of coming here to the session. So it's important for me to explain this to you. And that's exactly what I've been trying to explain right since we started the book. That productive failure is first questioning how you do what you do, then pausing to think what you don't know and what you can absorb. and then retrying what you couldn't do. And that's how you will learn from productive failure. A whole idea of our foundation is learning forward, not about pushing what you learn forward, but about learning forward. So do spend time when you do your research. I want to show you one or two things today, and that's why I paused here. I want to explain to you, we have a Good Schools of India weekly. The weekly comes out on Wednesday. You can easily subscribe to it. Go to gsi.in. You see the address there. And what we have done today will come to your inbox. So you can retrieve it. You can replay it. You can replay today's session on video. There will be content below it that will help you practice and even pick up something which you have missed today. So do sign up for the weekly. That's important. Then I want to share with you the blog. It's called happyteacher.in. So once a session finishes, it's like yesterday, Friday's session, the video and notes come here. Now these videos and notes don't go into the newsletter. Into the newsletter, you will only see links to the video and notes. That's why the newsletter is created. The newsletter encapsulates what we do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We don't work Monday and Tuesday. So our 5-day week is so beautifully captured in the newsletter. Do make use of it. Another interesting resource is our Joy of Learning My Good School video channel. So all our videos which we make or session recordings, they are all available here. So you can refer to the resource. We have almost 6.2 thousand subscribers and 439 videos. So do go here, search with the topic, search with the date, search with the session. And if you have missed a session, you will find it here. This is a Friday session, fun learning, thoughtful Thursday. There was news in the middle which we announced. This is about a yearly union. Some of us have been going to the Global Educators Fest every year. This happens in early August. And I look forward to meeting some of you there. I attend this event every year and I've attended since 2016. So it's always good to go there. And that's exactly where the idea of Good School Alliance took shape when I was talking to school leaders there. Then what we do on Sunday, it's called My Good School. It's also available here. So Sunday session, Thursday session, Friday session, and Saturday session. The videos are all on the YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to come back into the room and not share any screen now. I'm more than happy to talk to you. I'm more than happy to answer questions. I am more than happy to help you on how you can do your research, your presentations. And I want to spend the next 5-7 minutes in clearing that. If you wish to speak and ask a question, we'll be more than happy to give you the mic. I have with me my participants on the panel. They are also there to answer. I have Kunal, I have Manisha, I have Minakshi, and I have Gurdeep. We will do our best to answer your questions. If you have, please ask your questions. We'll be more than happy. Anyone wish to talk? Any help you need towards your assignment? There's an announcement for the Sunbeam Masterclass. Paul sir would like you people to keep track of your attendance. So from our side, the simple method is we do a poll. And I loved it yesterday when I said mark your attendance on 26th, someone marked it on 25th. I love that absolutely. That's the energy we need. Well, please mark your attendance on 26th. The poll is there in your WhatsApp channel. If you're not there in the WhatsApp group of Sunbeam School, do remember. Yeah, so there's an interesting question from Mangal. How can we increase our remembering power? You have a very simple answer for this. First, read a lot. Second, find 2-3 hours in a day when you don't get distracted by any stimuli. Could be electronic, could be unelectronic sound or environment. So, of late, I am reading a book. The book is Yogananda Paramhansa's story, autobiography of a yogi. And look at the remembering power. If you talk of a little, I don't want to go deep into philosophy in Karam, yoga, or whatever, but it's important how, when you sit down and concentrate, you learn to absorb more. And third, repeat things, keep trying. A simple thing, if like remembering is like a muscle in the head. So it's like you need to do push-ups. First day you will do 5, second day you'll do 10, third day you'll do 4. That's how. So similarly, you may remember half a story today. Tomorrow you'll repeat it again. Read in bits. So best way to remember is do bite-size learning. And that's why you see we are reading these chapters very slowly. We don't even care to finish the chapter. So that's another way of answering your question. Deepika Yadav, which school are you from? You want to be added in the chat or the group. Which school are you from, Deepika? Sonika Singh says in the chat box, please help me be part of the group. Okay. Manisha? Deepika Yadav is from Sunbeam.
I'll add her, sir.
She's from Sunbeam, Narayanpur.
Yeah, she has sent
Yeah,
a request. I'll add.
yeah. So we just add the Sunbeam teachers. We don't really worry about, yeah. Sonika Singh from Sunbeam, Indiranagar. Will you note down?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What you can do, you can put your number here and tell them to send you a message. It'll be the easiest way to do that. So number for Manisha is easily available on happyteacher.in, the blog we saw. Please send Manisha a message. She will add you. But remember one thing, if we add you there, we expect you to post your comments. We expect you to reflect. We expect you to think. And if Paul sir has his way, we expect you to do submissions. There's a number here. You want me to call it out, Manisha, or you can copy it?
I've copied, sir.
Yeah, so that's easy. You can write your number here. That's a good idea. Thank you, Sonika. That was brilliant. Absolutely. I was trying to find a way to do it and you solved the problem. Thank you. That was brilliant. Yeah, you got another one. You can add Deepika also. But it has to be only from Sunbeam, please. If you're from somewhere else, I'm sorry we can't add you to the Sunbeam group. And be careful, Manisha. If you're adding them to the Sunbeam teachers, add them in the Teachers Academy and not the masterclass. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Because masterclass is the professional learning community, unless these people are registered in the masterclass sheet. Just check on that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in the masterclass, we have a total of 72 people, two of us, and a 70 community from Sunbeam Masterclass 2025. In this masterclass, we have from 7 schools, I think 5 each or whatever numbers. And then Paul says added the school leaders and other people from the team whom he feels are going to be helpful to help you do things. He's also invited some school leaders of the Sunbeam group of schools. So the Sunbeam Masterclass is an exclusive group. We are more than happy to add people to the Teachers Academy, which is our own working space. So Deepika, we have your message. Manisha will converse with you. Yeah, Sonika is part of the masterclass. Great. Just check on this before you add them. Is that okay, Manisha? Please add them in the right place. Yeah. Any other challenge you face? Any other way we can comfort you? Anything we can do to add to your happiness? Most welcome, Deepika. God bless you. I'm liking to fail. That's a good one. I'm liking to fail, so I'm writing assignments, changing and reforming, and still unable to find the final draft. Brilliant, Rajni. I don't think there could be a better example of productive failure. In this one sentence of yours, you have defined productive failure. I'm liking to fail, so I'm writing assignments, changing and reframing, and still unable to find the final draft. So, I really want you to do one thing. I'll give you a simple way of doing it. I discovered recently, I started writing in a pencil and a notebook, and I became better. So I made my notes like that, and then I got down to word processing. So when you are word processing, your failure happens. You tend to go into finish mode very fast. And finish mode for a potter, when he bakes his clay, it's a long way off. So your clay and you're dirting your hands, which means writing with pencil and paper will help you think. Someone asked me, how do you remember so much? I said, simple way, use pen and paper. That's a trick I'm telling you. There is an example currently going on, an experiment. That's an experiment in Switzerland where they've gone back to books from digital media. So we're all trying, and that's being human. That's productive failure. That's the beauty. Digital to non-digital to digital. Thank you, Sonika. Sonika, thank you so much. Yeah, practice makes man perfect. Practice makes woman perfect, Tanuja. You should write woman. Rajini, thank you for the idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. But do carry your notebooks and your class teachers. You see, you push your children to write, you push your children to read. But how many books do you read and how many books do you write? That's the challenge. That's the inner resolve you need to make. That I will read and write. And that's how you will counter your productive failure. Gurdeep, you want to add something?
No, I'm listening and I'm looking at the chats. I think Rajni has encapsulated, like she has written, I'm liking to fail. This comment, she has
Copy it for your
encapsulated the
content.
whole book, the whole idea of this book, Productive Failure. This
Absolutely.
is
I
all
mean,
about productive failure.
in fact, Rajni should actually put the comment down. And why don't you show them some comments of the last session if you would like to? Yeah, Gurdeep, just
Yeah.
read a few comments from the last session. I think it's on fairness. They write so much, we must read them. There is also a post which came from a group, which I thought was a great effort, absolutely. And let's share that. Just go to happyteacher.in. There is a post, Manisha, I think day before it came, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's a post day before from 4 teachers of Sunbeam Varuna.
I'm checking, sir.
Yeah. Share screen. I'm just taking a screenshot so you'll get a clip.
So is it visible? The screen is visible.
No, ma'am, your screen is not. Yes, visible now.
It's visible. So this one, sir.
No, no.
No, ma'am. It's
No,
a
no.
post by teachers at happyteachers.in.
Just scroll down, Gurdeep. Just scroll down. Scroll down. Older post. Yeah, scroll down. You come here. Yeah, read the blog archive. It says productive failure, a student's perspective.
Ma'am,
Read
third one from the top.
from top, Gurdeep. Yeah. So this is a post from Sunbeam. I just read the introduction.
Okay. So, introduction. In the work of educational researcher Manu Kapur, the concept of productive failure challenges the belief that students should always aim to get the correct answer right away. Instead, Kapur suggests that failing in the early stages of a task, when it is meaningful and structured, can actually lead to stronger understanding and deeper learning. This approach encourages us to view mistakes not as setbacks, but as powerful learning tools.
Yeah. So, Brent, so these people have explained the theory of how Dr. Manu Kapur handles failure, and they've done a great job. So, what this works, these are brilliant notes. if you were to explain what you have taken away from a session. But we are looking forward to something. You have written an experience with productive failure. Now, I am referring to that itself. What I'm saying is that go back to your drawing board, plan an experiment, plan a practical experiment, try it over a period of time, struggle with it, come back with data, come back with analytics, and you will find what productive failure is. So don't be in a hurry to present your productive failure. Take your time. That's why last year we asked for 11 assignments. This year we asked for 5. We reduced the numbers. We have a whole year ahead. Don't be in a hurry. We just started in the month of April. You have 12 months ahead. You have all the time. In the holidays, you can think deeply. You can converse with each other. You are in the best time in the world where you have devices where you can collaborate, where you have AI to help you think. But please only use AI to help you think, not AI to write your assignments. You may think we can't find out, it's very easy. When you send content to us, when we post it on the blog, it itself says that this is from so and so place. It's as easy as that. So I'm not saying that you're plagiarizing. Yes, that's how we all learn. Use references. If you see, Gurdeep, just go to the first post on the blog, right on top. Yeah, click here on Teachers Academy. Yeah, click here. Now go scroll below this. Scroll down. Go to the footnote. Look what it says.
AI generated content may be inaccurate or misleading. Always check for accuracy. Please rate the accuracy of this summary.
See how beautifully I've acknowledged. Do you have the courage to tell us where you copied your notes from, which chat GPT you use, which llama you use? Please mention them. If they are your gurus, you have to honor them and mention them in your content if you use them. I'm not saying don't use them. I'm saying if you're taking help, tell us what they have given you and tell us what you have given. That should be visible as a part of your productive failure. There's a very interesting post here on exploring impressionism. Could you go to some comments below the last week's post? There were some comments below the last week's post.
So, productive failure only?
Yeah, देखो इसके नीचे है. नहीं, this is the same article, your last week's post. Introduction to my forays in productive failure. Yeah, go below. Yeah, this one. This is last week. Yeah, that's April. Okay. Is there any comment below? The other comments. Let's read these comments. We'll just hang on. Is Shalu here? Shalu? If you're there, I'd be happy to see a chat hi and a thumbs up. Shalu, your comment was featured in the newsletter. Jai Hind, Shalu. Your comment was featured in last week's Good Schools India newsletter. Did you get to read it? So that's why I suggest that please go to gsi.in. We have actually featured this very comment. You have not subscribed to the newsletter, please do and read it. Your comment is featured in the newsletter. It's covered there. Shivangi, thank you for writing. Go below, please. There's another. Just read out the names of people who have commented. People can read the comments themselves. Please read out the names. I want the names.
Shivangi Gupta, Anushri Agarwal,
Divya.
Divya.
Thank you so much. And someone has commented below a post of another session, which is fair. It really doesn't matter. It can happen. But thank you for your comments. And today's session is available on YouTube because we were live streaming it. We will do some edits to it post this session so that you get a better perspective. Thank you. It's been an enjoyable Saturday masterclass. All the best. Appreciate your patience for these few extra minutes. But we always ask you to block an hour for us. And we try and do it less than that. जल्दी छुट्टी हो जाती है ना, बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So God bless you all. Enjoy yourself, and we will be back next Saturday as a part of a journey of productive failure. It's so wonderful. Thank you, Gurdeep. We love you for what you do. And Gurdeep, I'm now looking forward to your posts.
Okay, yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, because you've got a break. You will not
Yeah,
get an excuse now. And I'm
no,
not asking you to do assignments, but I'm asking you to do posts.
yes, sir, yes.
And in
I'll do
that,
that.
yeah, and explain the difference between a post and an assignment.
Okay.
Post is simply a reflection of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
An assignment is when you use the reflection to create something new.
Yes, sir.
I've put it very, very simply.
Yes, got
Thank
you.
you, Manisha. Thank you, others who joined us and who help us voluntarily. I want to mention one small thing before you go. Of late, we've had some very, very interesting associations develop. So before you go, I think in all fairness, I must mention them. So we have the Learning Forward Foundation website or blog. We use Blogger for that. So we've had a real solid time last 1 month in building the structure of the foundation to become even stronger. So recently we have joined up with Astaya Services. Astaya helps you in governance, compliance, and helping schools understand how they can do their back end processes better. Learning Forward guides us on how we run your professional learning program, how we deliver the Teachers Academy, how we do the master's class or master class. This learning comes from Learning Forward. Something new you may have started watching recently. So what we thought that we should now start looking at helping young teachers who come into the profession. And that's why we thought we should join up with an association called ECCE with a CQ in front. So Confederation of Quality in Early Childhood, and finally we have our own Good Schools Alliance. So this is a whole team which is working around the clock, working day and night for happy teachers. So thank you to my partners, sponsors. Thank you everyone. Have a great week ahead. Some of you will see us tomorrow. I look forward to that.